Hello everybody and welcome back to another reading vlog. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please excuse the laundry all over the floor and the mess that is the bedroom behind me. But anyways, today is Friday and it is very gloomy, dark, feels very much like fall. At the time that I'm filming this, it's about 4 or 5 in the evening, but it really is just gross and very gloomy outside, so I think summer is officially over. So it feels very fitting today that I just came back from a very fall outing, and it's one that I do every single year at this time of the year, and it's going to get my favorite fall tea that I reserve specifically for like October through December, and that is the apple spice tea by Celestial. They sell this pretty much everywhere, but every time I taste it, it just reminds me of fall. So I'm going to brew myself a cup of this after I film the intro to this vlog. But I also found another kind of fall-ish caffeine-free tea while I was there. And it's called Bengal Spice. It says, brimming with cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, and cloves, this adventurous blend is our caffeine-free interpretation of chai, which sounds literally perfect. So I will also be giving this one a go in this vlog as well. But I feel like it's only right to try the Old Faithful fall tea before the new one. Anyways, enough about tea. This week I'm going to be starting a series of vlogs where I read all of the finalists for the National Book Award for fiction. I did this last year as well, but I read them all in one vlog, which was just far too much for me. So this year I'm going to split it into a few vlogs. And since this week is going to be very busy on the work end for me, I'm just going to be picking up one of the books this week. And that is The Birdcatcher by Gail Jones. This is actually the shortest book on the list, also why I decided to give it a go on this very busy week in my life. And reading the synopsis of this, it sounds a little bit interesting. I don't really know what to think of it, so let me just read the first paragraph of the synopsis. So it says, set primarily on the island of Ibiza, the story is narrated by the writer Amanda Wordlaw, whose closest friend, a gifted sculptor named Catherine Sugar, S-H-U-G-E-R, not sure how that's pronounced, is repeatedly institutionalized for trying to kill her husband Ernest, who nevertheless refuses to leave her. The three form a quirky triangle on the whitewashed island. I'm definitely intrigued. This is not the kind of thing that I would typically pick up or gravitate towards, but it has been blurbed by so many authors that I respect so much, including Robert Jones Jr., Toni Morrison, Tayari Jones, amongst many others that I really, really respect. So this is going to be a journey this week, and I'm excited to see what I end up thinking of this. Anyways, looking forward to the next couple of days. I do have the full weekend off, which is very nice. I think I'm going to bake a fall tart this weekend. So we'll see if that happens. And then otherwise, there's lots of playoff baseball this weekend. I'm a huge fan of just putting on some baseball and reading a good book and just having a very cozy kind of fall evenings. And my team that I support is actually in the playoffs this year and plays this weekend. So I think it's going to be kind of a fun, cozy, stay-in type of weekend. Anyways, with that, I'm going to go make myself my cup of tea and I will catch up with you guys in a bit.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
So it's now Sunday and I have this absolutely giant sweater on because I'm just so cold. I feel like this time of the year always gets me, and I don't expect fall to come as quickly as it comes. Before I know it, it's dark at 5 o'clock. So I've got to start getting the sweaters out, and I have to start filming a little bit earlier so that all of my vlog footage isn't just very kind of gloomy, dark footage. So I'm actually about to pop out to grab some pizza with 3 of my very good friends who live here. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm currently in my 3rd year of residency. And so I have this year and then next year before I am officially an attending physician, which is something that I have been working on for quite a few years now. And in my program, there's only 3 other people in my class, and they're all girls. And so we're very, very close. Going through the experience of residency is unlike anything else. So having people that are there with you and understand what you're going through is wonderful. So we love to get together all the time for dinner and to hang out. So I'm just really excited to catch up with them. But I did want to give my first update of The Birdcatcher by Gail Jones. So I've actually made my way through quite a bit of this. I'm on page 115 out of like 190-ish, so over the halfway point. And so far I have to say that I unfortunately have some mixed feelings about this one. So it follows 3 main characters. You have Amanda Wordlaw, who is our narrator. She is a writer. And then you have this couple that she kind of third wheels with, Catherine and Ernest. So their dynamic is very odd. Catherine is constantly trying to kill Ernest, and so is constantly being committed to different mental health facilities. And Ernest just kind of goes with the flow. And you kind of don't have a lot of background as to why their relationship is what it is. And from the outset, I think that this setup is super interesting. As a reader, I have a lot of questions. How did Ernest and Catherine get together? Why is Ernest putting up with this? Why isn't he leaving? Did he do something to make Catherine want to literally kill him all the time? Why is this third wheel Amanda not just getting on with her life? Why is she constantly having to surround herself with these people that it doesn't really seem that she enjoys being around, and she's having to act as a referee to their relationship all the time? So I think that there's some really interesting dynamics in there. Having said that, though, I feel like a lot of the questions that I have as a reader and a lot of the directions that I want the plot to go, this book just isn't going. It's kind of meandering in these weird, anecdotal, odd scenes that I'm not getting the point of. Each of the chapters is very disconnected and disjointed. So it's not like you're following one thing from one scene and you're picking up right where you left off. As a reader, you're kind of bopping between these different situations. And personally, that's not my favorite kind of book to read. I do like the ones where you follow a contiguous plot and there's something that you're kind of driving towards or looking forward to as a reader, or that you can piece together. And this one doesn't quite have that. Now, there are some really interesting things that I've picked up along the way. One of those things is the animal imagery that's used to describe a lot of the characters in this book. So Catherine, our person who's trying to kill her husband, is often described in bird terms. So she's called a canary or Tweety bird. And she is working on this sculpture, which is called The Birdcatcher, the title of this book. And basically the birdcatcher, she just kind of sticks different things on this sculpture that she picks up in her daily life. I think it's trying to tie the artists together with their work and make a point about it. But I feel like I'm struggling to get the point of all of this imagery. One of the other things that they keep mentioning is that Amanda, the writer, the third wheel person, is constantly being described as having this crocodile skin and this really dry skin all over her. And again, it's interesting. I just don't really understand the point. It's not coming together for me right now. Maybe the end will answer some of these questions that I have. But honestly, while this book is really intriguing in a lot of ways, it isn't really living up to my expectations. And so I think there's a lot that needs to happen in the second half of the book. So I'm going to get myself ready to go out to pizza with the girls, and I'll touch base with you guys in a little bit. So it's currently Monday and I have been through a lot of very busy days at work. I've been doing the 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. shift, and so I feel like there's never a good time to film. Like if I'm working 10 to 8, I like to sleep in a little bit in the morning, but by the time I get home, I'm exhausted. So it's just been a busy few days. But I wanted to pop in and wrap up this vlog. Before I do though, I definitely need to try the Bengal Spice Tea because I've been very curious about what it's tasted like, and I knew I had to film my reaction, so I just have had it in my kitchen. So very chai-like, I think it's sweeter than I expected it to be, but still has that nice spice to it. Yeah, this is for sure going to be a new favorite. And I think it could be a fall or winter tea. So I'm excited to add that one into my tea shelf. Not that I don't have enough already, but it's always nice to have new caffeine-free teas to unwind to after long days at work. All right, with that, I wanted to chat about my final thoughts of The Birdcatcher by Gail Jones. So I ended up giving this one a 2 out of 5 stars. Unfortunately, for a lot of the reasons that I just described in my last clip, and I won't go over again, this one just didn't work for me. And unfortunately, the end didn't really conclude many of the questions that I had of this book. I do think it was a really interesting concept, and I think it was well written, but the execution and the plot itself didn't hold my interest, and it didn't feel like a well-rounded novel to me. And of course, again, my personal opinion, but it just wasn't the type of book I typically like to read, and I didn't really enjoy this one too much. Do let me know if you have read this one, what you thought of it. All right, guys, so this was a bit of a shorter vlog than I anticipated, but thank you so much for joining me for the very first of the National Book Award vlogs. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I hope to be back in about a week and a half with my next one in this series, and I believe in that one I will be reading 2 books out of the finalists, and I'm not sure what those are, so make sure you stick around to figure out which ones I will be picking up next. But with that, I hope you guys all have a wonderful week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.